Shame consolidates the ego. You know, when we think of shame, a lot of times we think of it as like kind of being ashamed of our ego. And in a way that's true. But it can give us a little false sense of, you know, that we're actually dealing with our ego. That we're actually confronting ourselves. That we're using this shame to confront our own bullshit. And again, some of that is true. But when I say shame consolidates the ego, I want you to feel it energetically. Like, think of something that you are ashamed of or that you have been ashamed of. And feel what that feels like in your body. To me, and most people I talk to, shame kind of feels like a contraction, a pulling in. And so what is it that's pulling in? It's this sense of me. It's this sense of I'm bad. I did something bad. I said the wrong thing. So, and here's how a lot of shame comes out. What happens, let's take, for example, if you drink a little too much. Some of us have done that from time to time. And so you drink a little too much and kind of the ego barriers come down a little bit. And, you know, you might say some crazy things. You might do some crazy things. But I want you to feel it energetically is kind of, there's an expansive energy that happens. It might be crazy, ungrounded. I'm not saying it's this beautiful thing when it's alcohol involved. You know, can be. But what it is that because of the alcohol, the ego isn't kind of self-reflecting in the same way. And it's just expanding outwards. And then you wake up the next morning and think, what the hell did I say? What was that crazy shit? You know? And you have that shame, and that is a contraction. So that ego that was expanding, and let's say if the ego expanded forever, you'd be enlightened. It would just like kind of join up with all that is, right? But the shame pulls it all back in. So it's helpful, you know, part of what I do in my healing practice is help people look at things in a different way to change their manifestation. So if we look at shame as this mechanism that the ego sometimes uses to consolidate itself, to strengthen itself, to center itself. Then when you feel ashamed, you can say, my ego is using shame to get back in control. My ego is using shame to get back in control. Well, that must mean I've been kind of releasing shame. I've been releasing ego. Otherwise, why would it need to get back in control? So this was just something that the words popped into my head just now in my shower. So I was like, okay, I got to make this video before my client comes in 20 minutes. But really feel it, because shame is a huge issue for almost everybody. And the people who don't think they have that issue at all are probably in denial, and their shame is buried deeper. So just think of it next time you have shame. That this is the way the ego pulls itself back together. When ideally what we want is the ego to expand And when I mean expand, I don't mean take over the universe. I mean join up with the universe. I mean kind of dissolve. Instead of being a dense thing here, it can be a relaxed thing that just flows outward. So don't let shame trick you into going back and hunkering down in the ego. Allow that openness to continue happening. And when you do feel shame, love the inner child aspect of you that is feeling the shame. And that's all you need to do. Keep doing it over and over and over. It's not a one-shot deal. And maybe you'll notice that your ego doesn't have the same ability to use shame to pull you back. Try it. Tell me what you think. If you'd like more information on what I do, go to andysway.com. If you'd like to book a session with me, andysway@yahoo.com. And thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all that. And see you next time. Bye.